The main engine roared loudly and steadily, like the heartbeat of a sea monster preparing for its greatest hunt of the stormy season. The fishermen, their faces etched with the wrinkles of sun, wind, and the salty taste of the sea, huddled together by the side of the boat. Their eyes were fixed on the water's surface, where streaks of light from fishing lamps and torches gathered millions of plankton, followed by swarms of anchovies, mackerel, and tuna rushing about under the ocean current. The sea is inherently forgiving, yet also incredibly harsh, for men who have dedicated their lives to the crashing waves. Each voyage is not just a means of livelihood, but a gamble with nature, a yearning to conquer and assert sovereignty over every sacred nautical mile of their homeland. Over the past few days, the fish finder has been continuously reporting optimistic signals. The captain, a man in his 50s with hands as rough as forest bark, gently sipped a strong cup of tea. The order to deploy the nets was given over the internal loudspeaker system, shattering the tense silence. All the sailors immediately rushed to their positions like perfectly programmed machines. The clanging of iron chains and the screeching of winches ripped through the air. The enormous seine net, thousands of meters long, 100 fathoms deep, began to be lowered into the deep sea. Sen from a fardenembren norm, slowly closing. Time seemed to stand still for the 3 hours that followed. As the net gradually closed in, the sea began to churn violently. The water was no longer a calm, dark black, but began to foam with a white spray. Millions upon thousands of fishtails thrashed incessantly, creating a thunderous roar like a rumbling thunder from the depths of the earth. The enormous ship began to tilt slightly to one side due to the immense pulling force of the net. The hydraulic winch system was activated at full power, the steel cables, as thick as an adult's wrist, stretched taut like guitar strings, emitting terrifying screeching sounds. Without needing any instructions, the fishermen on deck each performed their task, coordinating seamlessly from operating the winch and tying the cables to monitoring the edges of the nets to prevent tearing. The scene was overwhelming and magnificent. Glostot, abastarea Offshore. Mackerel, anchovies, and tuna glistened under the high-powered lights, leaping and splashing on the water's surface like a silvery rain. The powerful current surged, sending white foam splashing onto the faces and clothes of the fishermen, drenched in sweat and seawater. Shouts, calls, and bursts of laughter mingled with the sounds of machinery, creating a heroic symphony of labor in the middle of the ocean. When the enormous school of fish was tightly packed against the ship's sides, traditional manual net fishing methods proved completely ineffective against the sheer volume, reaching hundreds of tons. To preserve the fish's freshness, a massive suction system, a significant advancement in modern offshore fishing, was lowered. The suction pipe, with a diameter as large as a person's arm span, was flexible and sturdy, connected to a high-powered vacuum pump located deep within the ship. Instantly, an incredibly strong suction force was created. The moment the pipe's mouth touched the water, thick with fish, it began to swallow the silvery torrent. Tons of fish and seawater were swept into the pipe at breakneck speed. Looking through the transparent, specialized plastic pipe, one could see a continuous, swirling flow of tens of thousands of fish hurtling towards the ship's hull. Wherever the fish went, a rushing sound like hailstones falling on a corrugated iron roof echoed. Deep inside the ship, the atmosphere takes on a completely different tone, urgent, frigid, and highly scientific. The holding system is divided into many large compartments, all lined with gleaming stainless steel and featuring thick insulation. Before the fish are sucked down, these compartments are filled with cold seawater or crushed ice at sub-zero temperatures to carry out the process. When the stream of fish from the suction pipe plunges into the compartment, the sailors clad in thick, cold weather, protective clothing, constantly adjusting the suction pipes to distribute the fish evenly throughout the compartments, preventing clumping that could crush them. The fish poured down in a torrent, shimmering silver, quickly filling the vast holding tanks. From compartment 1 to number 2 and finally to the last, the stream of fish flowed on and on, like an inexhaustible resource that the ocean had bestowed upon humankind. The vacuum pumps continued to roar steadily, and the sea surface, after hours of relentless sweeping, showed no sign of losing its silvery sheen of fish scales. At this point, the pressure weighed the shoulders of the mannix and sailors in the hold. Human strength was limited, but the ocean current seemed endless. Tens of tons of fish poured down in torrents through the enormous pipe, demanding intense concentration and tireless coordination. Under the bright neon lights of the hold, the bone-chilling cold from the freezing system combined with the salty air created a hazy mist, enveloping the figures in their soaking wet protective suits. At this moment, the fishermen from Solders, manning a modern production line in the middle of the ocean. They used specialized stainless steel rakes, continuously leveling the freshly dumped fish to ensure the icy water penetrated evenly into every fiber of the flesh. The salty smell of the sea, the pungent aroma of fresh fish, and the biting cold blended together, creating a unique and unmistakable atmosphere of hard work. On the deck, the captain gripped the steering wheel tightly, his eyes fixed on the cargo, hold monitoring screen and the automatic electronic weighing system. The massive steel-hulled ship had now sunk deeper into the water, its hull pressed against the seabed, a testament to the weight of a bountiful harvest. After each compartment was full, the sailors quickly closed the hatches, tightened the pressure valves to completely isolate the temperature, and immediately moved the suction pipes to the next compartment. Precise execution was honed from hundreds of sea voyages, from the painful lessons of past losses. Far out at sea, flocks of seagulls, smelling the fresh fish, flocked to fill a corner of the sky, their calls mingling with the sound of the waves. Seen from above, the ship resembled a giant anthill, where each member was a resilient link. Exhausting their last drops of sweat to harvest the bounty of Mother Sea, their faces, tanned by the sun and wind, bore the marks of exhaustion after more than 10 hours of strenuous work. Yet smiles still shone brightly. These were smiles of contentment, of promises to their families back home, and of the proud confidence of mastering the vast ocean. As the last of the fish passed through the suction pipe, leaving behind a sea surface that gradually returned to its original deep blue color, life on board did not slow down. The ship was now submerged deep in the water, its hull solid and sturdy, carrying over 300 tons of the finest seafood bounty. The entire space in the hold was now a world completely isolated from the stifling heat that was beginning to intensify on the deck. Each tunnel now resembles a work of art. Millions of fish are stacked tightly together, glistening like solid silver bars cast securely in the deep, icy water. To achieve this perfection, the tunnel workers endured extraordinary hours of suffering. In the cramped space, lacking oxygen and in the biting cold, they had to constantly move. Using specialized shovels and rakes, they turn over the crushed stone, filling in any hidden corners to ensure no gaps are left, places where heat could penetrate and reduce the quality of the fish. Each ladleful of concentrated brine is evenly poured over the top layer of fish before the thick alloy hatch covers are lowered and tightened with a system of heavy-duty threaded bolts. A dry, clicking sound signals that a cargo hold has officially been loaded. On the ship's aft deck, the site of a historic battle, now lay a chaotic mess of traces from a great adventure. The thin decks of the fishing boat gleamed in the brilliant morning sun, the pungent smell of the sea clinging to every fiber of wood and steel. None of the crew remained still. They began the task of cleaning the battlefield. High-pressure water jets were brought out, spraying torrents of blue seawater to thoroughly wash away the wounds. Fish scales still clung to the deck, the nets, and the hydraulic winches. Water splashed, creating small, shimmering rainbows in the early morning sun. Some were reeling in the nets, others arranging the buoys, and still others checking the cable connections, all working together in a silent, understanding harmony. The fatigue from a long, Sleepless nights seemed to be pushed away by the cool seawater and the joy of victory. Down on deck, the central cooling system was still running at full capacity. The motors running quietly but steadily, a testament to the protection of the enormous assets lying dormant in the darkness of the holds. After finishing cleaning the deck and washing away the last fish scales, the fishermen finally had some time to sit together. They sat slumped on the deck, leaning against large coils of cable. Their faces were etched with exhaustion, their hands swollen from soaking in seawater and pulling in fish for over 10 hours. But their eyes smiled a smile of immense relief and contentment. Their conversation was no longer about the stress of the previous night's catch, but about family, about plans to buy new clothes for their children, repair their roofs, or simply enjoy a warm family meal after months of being away at sea. As the ship drew closer to land, the sea became more bustling with the appearance of small fishing boats belonging to local fishermen. From afar, the coastal land of their homeland appeared as a hazy green outline on the horizon, bringing a strange sense of peace and familiarity to those who have made the sea their home year-round. The weight of hundreds of tons of fish in the ship's hold seemed to be creating an invisible force. This spurred the ship to speed up across the silvery waves. Each nautical mile passed brought them closer to port, where their hard work would be transformed into tangible material wealth, supporting families and fueling their dreams of venturing out to sea. The epic saga of the night of hauling in and hauling fish into the hold had temporarily ended, but it would open a new, promising chapter when the ship officially docked, bringing with it prosperity and the proud spirit. The ship's horn sounded a long, deep, and proud blast, shattering the early morning air like a solemn announcement to the mainland about a victorious voyage. From the dock, hundreds of people, including merchants, dockworkers, and even the wives and children of the sailors, had been waiting for a long time, their eyes sparkling with hope and unceasing anticipation as they watched the deep-draft ship slowly approach the harbor. Beneath the compartments, after dozens of hours of complete isolation from the outside world, the rigorous preservation process had proven absolutely effective. As the sailors began to loosen the threaded bolts and lift the thick, alloy hatch covers, a dense, icy blast of air immediately poured out, enveloping the surrounding space. Below, a true treasure was revealed before everyone's eyes. On decks, the crane system and high-pressure pipes of the fishing port were quickly connected to the ship's side in preparation for the transfer of fish ashore. The atmosphere once again became bustling and urgent, no less so than the night of casting nets at sea. The roar of machinery, the shouts of the unloaders, and the lively laughter of the fishermen created a vibrant and energetic scene.